All right, welcome back to Beyond the Athlete, where we sit down with a student athlete at Marymount University. This week we're joined by Sheila Kernan from the softball team. Sheila, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Sheila Kernan. I'm a sophomore on the softball team, and I'm a criminal justice major.
So, what initially drew you to the interest of criminal justice as a major?
So my mom worked for the government for as long as I can remember. My older brother's also a CJ major. He graduated from University of Maryland, so I was always just attracted to that.
And are there any classes in particular that you like in the criminal justice department or really any other department?
I've had Professor Ripper, Brittany Ripper, a couple times, and she's been really great.
And obviously, you're also on the softball team. What initially drew you to that interest?
Softball. I started playing t-ball when I was 4 years old. I was always just in sports. I had two older brothers, and softball was just kind of the one that stuck. I enjoyed it the most. I wanted to work harder at it, so that was the one I followed.
And is there anyone that you particularly want to shout out to instilling that love for softball?
Yeah, I had a travel coach, Coach Chad Williams from Severn Bolt softball back home in Maryland, and he definitely made me the player that I am today and just instilled that confidence in me to pursue college athletics.
And so at Marymount, do you play any other sports? Do you sort of fill your time with anything else?
So I'm playing intramural volleyball. It actually starts tomorrow with a couple of girls from the softball team as well. So we're excited about that.
So what drew your interest to that? And also, how'd you find out about it?
I found out about it just from flyers that were posted on the dorms and things like that. I played volleyball in high school, and so did a few of the other girls on the team. So we all just decided that it would be fun.
hmm And so, are you involved in anything else at Marymount in regards to anything outside of athletics?
Well, outside of athletics, I guess you could, it's still considered athletics, but I'm part of SAC, which is the Student Athlete Advisory Council, and then I'm also on A.D. Ryan St. Strong Leadership Academy. So those are two things.
Can you talk a little bit about what SAC is for people who might not know?
So SAC is kind of like the bridge between administration and student athletes. So we get to vote on things like NCAA rules and things of that nature, and then we also just get a say in the conference and in the division as a whole.
And then you also mentioned Saint Strong, which is run by Ryan Wildenhain from
Yes.
upstairs in the Lee Center. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so St. Strong brought together a few of the leaders from all types of sports just to talk about leadership in general and as well as the athletic community and what we can do to help as some of the leaders on some of the teams.
All right. And so, shifting slightly back to softball, the Marymount softball team was in its inaugural year last year, which I'm sure must have been an interesting experience. First of all, what drew you to Marymount and softball at Marymount?
So I was actually originally committed at Wesley College in Dover, Delaware, my senior year of high school. They merged with Delaware State University and they dropped their D3 programs. So the coach there, Coach Julie Greep, put me in contact with Coach Page here at Marymount, and that's how I kind of fell here at Marymount, and I'm really glad that I did.
And with it being that first year, obviously everyone's a first year in a sense. You don't really have
Exactly.
upperclassmen. But was there anyone on the team that sort of stepped up into a leadership role?
I would say last year, a couple of the sophomores, Shannon and Jacqueline Birch, they were two of our leaders on the team for sure. Shannon was our starting pitcher, and Jack was our starting catcher. It's a duo of sisters. And I think as well as Sam Sonati, our starting center fielder, who was actually a freshman, same as me last year, they really stepped up as some of the leaders of the team and got us through a long year, but it was a good year.
And then how would you say the team has taken this sort of off season to get prepared for this second season and go into things stronger?
We're really excited for this year. We brought in a lot of new faces. Coach Page did a great job recruiting this freshman class, and I think we're really excited for this year just to get some of those new faces in the lineup and shock some people.
So what would you say you're most excited for coming up for this season?
I think I'm mainly just excited for those conference matchups again. We had a lot of splits last year, so we're trying to come back stronger this year and get some of those sweeps that we were looking for.
And are there any teams in particular you've really got marked on the calendar that you're looking forward to play?
I think my team will know that we want to run it back with Gwen and Mercy. It was a kind of a rough game for pair of games for us, and as well as Cabrini, who was the team that knocked us out of the AC championship. tournament last year, so playing them again will be exciting.
And is there a specific goal that the team has going into, you want to be able to say in May that you accomplished this or you've done this?
So our motto for the year has been the 3 C's, which is compete, communicate, and celebrate. And that's been our main goal, just kind of redefining success as a team. We don't want to push too much into the outcome-driven success of just wins and losses on a score sheet, but celebrating things that may be overlooked usually, but are big to us this year.
And do you have any individual goals yourself, or do they just fall into that category?
I think I just want to be whatever my team needs me to be, whatever position that may be. It could be defensive, it could be offensive, but just whatever they need in that moment.
So what are some things you like to do to unwind during a season?
I think a lot of the time, just listening to music, putting my headphones in, and just kind of like drowning everything out, especially on the bus rides to the games. You just kind of lock in, and then with the team, we're always playing music and just dancing and stuff like that to get ready for the game and get excited.
Any particular genres, artists, musicians, things like that?
I'd say a lot of EDM for before the games just to get pumped up. I personally like hip hop and rap, but
Any particular artists top of your playlist?
Lil Baby's definitely top. My walk-up song is Hey.
And so last year, the softball team, obviously very impressive given this next factoid. They finished the season with 11 players at the end of the year.
Yes.
Obviously, that's got to be difficult, but also credit to those 11 players for getting the job done and really showing a strong side of Marymount in conference.
Yeah, it was definitely a little rough, just dealing with some players leaving, quitting, getting hurt, stuff like that. We finished with 2 pitchers, Shannon Birch and Morgan Hunt, who basically carried us on their backs because we played doubleheaders, so they each had to pitch every day, every game day, no matter if they had their best stuff or they were struggling a little bit, and they definitely fought through that adversity and just finished strong in the season.
Yeah, I remember those few of those last games that I was working. I was impressed at the sort of strength and fortitude of those players that they could just, regardless of what's going on, they get out there and they have to do their job because there was no really other option. But the team has expanded this season, correct?
Yes, we have a total of 19 players now with, I think, 9 or 10 incoming freshmen. So we're about half and half returners, half freshmen, so it should be exciting to see some new faces.
And what impact did that sort of, because it was everyone's first year.
Mm-hmm.
It was not just the players' first year, not just the department's first year, but also the coach's first year.
Right.
How did you see each of those aspects sort of grow throughout the year?
So it was definitely a learning process, just getting everyone kind of started on a clean slate, and we didn't really have, we still don't have captains. We kind of just have our leaders that step up when it's their time, and learning with a new coaching staff and with new players that you've never played with before really in a field, because last fall we didn't play any scrimmages or anything like that, so in the spring we stepped out on the field for the first time together, and just the coaching staff did a great job of just preparing us as best as they can, and I think they're building on it even more this year.
What's your favorite sport to watch at Marymount?
To watch, I'd probably say, well, I love swimming, but
Our producer is definitely swaying that answer a little bit.
But no, I really like basketball and volleyball because they're just so fast-paced and entertaining.
And I often do see you at a lot of the games. What sort of draws your interest to attending a lot of the Marymount athletics events?
I just think it's really important to support fellow athletes and just teams in general. I think if you go to their games, they're more than likely to come to your games as well, and just foster that sense of community just for everyone at the athletic department here at Marymount.
And are there any teams professionally that you like to support?
I'm a Steelers fan, Pittsburgh fan in general, Penguins and Pirates. So. Okay, Commanders.
Yeah, Commanders and Caps all the way, always. Yeah, I will defend the Caps Pens though. If I had known that going in, I probably would have asked a few more questions about that. And so would you say football or hockey or baseball? Which of those is your favorite sport professionally to watch?
Definitely football. Steelers all the way.
And do you have any favorite player on the Steelers?
I really like Pat Fryermuth. I think he's a good player.
I respect that a little bit.
Tight end.
Yeah.
That grit.
And are there any other athletes, it can either be in softball or in any other sport, that you sort of look up to or idolize?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, it was the famous like Kat Osterman, Jenny Finch. Coming into college, one of the most dominant hitters in all time is Jocelyn Allo. Graduated from Oklahoma last year with I think 30 plus home runs, maybe even 40 plus, and she's definitely someone to look up to. She's just so dominant in not only softball but just college sports in general.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to sit down and speak with us along with everyone at home. And be sure not to miss us next week.
Thank you so much for having me.